Welcome in everybody to Betting Pros. It's time to place your bets. It is me, Joey P, Joe Pisapia, and this is BP NFL. With me as always is the Undertaker, Andrew Erickson. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. It's the look ahead week. Now we will be doing some specials coming up this week, so stay tuned. We have the Thanksgiving special with myself, Scott Bogman, and Andrew Erickson breaking down the games and the props for Thanksgiving. Also the Black Friday special. Don't miss that. You don't have, it's not 20% off or anything like that. We're not giving anything away. But we are giving some picks away, so we'll have some standalone games to be talking about too. But today we're just going to look ahead, first take, first feels, as the kids like to say. And we got a lot of games to get to because it's a full slate, so we're going to jump right into it. Quick shout out before we do, don't forget, sign Mike Evans' Buccaneers helmet is still available. Mike Evans was back, but the helmet is still available, and it's for free from our friends at pristineauction.com. All you need to do is head to bettingpros.com/contest, complete the form, and either download the Betting Pros app, leave a review of the Betting Pros podcast, or subscribe to our social media channels at Betting Pros on X, on TikTok, and Betting Pros NFL on Instagram. The more actions you complete, the more entries you receive, and we'll be announcing the winner right here on the channel. So make sure you turn on those notifications till they go ding so you can be alerted when new episodes are up and you can claim your prize. Andrew Erickson, let's clump these together because I know tomorrow we're recording the Thanksgiving special. We're going to really do a deep dive on these games. Chicago, Detroit. 10.5-point favorites, Detroit. We've seen what they've done whenever they have double digits. They put a stomping on people at home. 48 is the number, plus 450 for Chicago in the upset, which I don't think any of us can like. New York and Dallas. Dallas is 3.5-point favorites. That feels right. 38.5 plus 164 for the Giants on the money line. And then you got Green Bay at home, 3.5-point favorites after they beat the Purdy-less 49ers. Sad tear for me. Miami coming off a big win against the Patriots too. 47.5 is that number for the night game, plus 155. So I know we're saving the details for tomorrow, but first take, first glance, any of these three games, any thoughts on any of the three in terms of early value?
I'll give you my quick three thoughts. So the Lions game, Joe, have you ever met me and a Lions game at home where I didn't like the over? So yeah.
No, I have not.
Over for me.
And have you ever met me on a Lions game where I didn't think they would cover 10, 20, 40 points? No, they always cover.
Look, I think this is a good bet to make on the offenses, right? We've seen the Bears offense kind of improve. Caleb Williams, I think, looked really good last week in a much tougher matchup, I think, defensively. So I like the over in this game. That's what happens when Lions play at home. The games go over. So this is the fun game of the slate. Unfortunately, the next game is not going to be fun, so I'm just taking the under. I want no part of this Cooper Rush, Tommy DeVito. Do we see Drew Lock? I don't know, because Tommy DeVito, the experiment was over before it seemingly started. Before the chicken cutlets were even out, Tommy DeVito looked like he was already going to get benched for Drew Lock. So under for me in this disaster abysmal of a game. And then Dolphins-Packers. I'm just going to fade the Dolphins outdoors in Green Bay on the road. Yes, they beat up on the Patriots, but saw the Rams beat on the Patriots too. And then what happened when they played a legitimate contender? Well, wasn't great. So I'm going to probably fade the Dolphins on the road.
All right, Chiefs are at home. They're 13.5-point favorites. So I say even 12. That's not even giving them credit. This one's the Amazon Prime 3:00 Black Friday game. 13.5-point favorites for Kansas City. You were right. The City did not cover against Carolina. You were 100% right on that one.
Dogs, baby, at home.
42.5. Andrew Erickson is back, loving life as Carolina Panthers are ready to go. Vegas, who did upset them late in the year last year, plus 500 now. Gardner Minshew is going to be out for the rest of the year, so you're probably going to get Desmond Ridder unless Daniel Jones gets signed in the next 24 hours. I don't know. But what do you think about this one, Erickson? Again, too big of a number. I think we probably both agree.
It's pretty big, but the thing is, the Chiefs are at home, right? So if they're ever going to get up for a home crowd, I mean, Desmond Ridder's so bad. Every time he plays, I just feel like they're going to turn the ball over. I feel like they have a better chance of just throwing an interception or fumbling every time.
There is that energy, as the kids like to say, that energy, like the vibes.
I mean, he came in the game after Minshew got hurt, and he immediately turned the ball over.
He did, second play.
So, I mean, if you're telling me to pick a side, I'm not taking the Raiders. So I guess I'm going to lay almost 2 touchdowns with the Chiefs, but they're at home, so it does make me feel a little bit better. And, considering the letdowns they've had the last couple weeks, almost losing to Carolina, losing to Buffalo, I think, hey, get right spot against a division opponent. Let's beat out on the Raiders. Obviously, remember what happened last year, and the Raiders obviously covered earlier this season with the backup quarterback thing. I think the Chiefs put a pounding on.
Pittsburgh, Cincinnati. Cincinnati, 2.5-point favorites. They've got a long time here, the Pittsburgh Steelers, in terms of recovery from the snow. 47 is the number for this one, plus 122. Now, Russell Wilson, some issues there. I think in that last game you saw Justin Fields. Maybe it was the weather, or maybe it's the red zone inefficiency that we've seen from Russell Wilson coming home to roost. Cincinnati is a team that just can't get out of their own way. So any early value on this one?
Why are the Cincinnati Bengals favorites? Because they're at home?
I don't know.
See,
I guess, yeah.
But if anything, it makes the Steelers a better bet because now you get Tomlin as a road underdog, which you always want to bet on Mike Tomlin. So give me the Steelers. Again, this is the same thing we did with the Jets, right? Why are they favorites? Why are they favorites? Why are the Bengals favorites?
Because they're at home. That's it.
Don't care. Give me the Steelers.
Lazy booking. That's what this is. Los Angeles, 7-3 now. The Chargers, and they are -1.5 here on the road against Atlanta. 47 is the number for this one. Plus 105 for the Falcons at home on the money line. The Chargers have really, we'll see what they do, Monday night. But regardless, I think the Chargers have established themselves as, for a change, a more comfortable wager. And on the road, the Chargers are not a team that we always used to love in the past. But Harbaugh has this team focused. He has this team tougher, fighting. The same old Chargers seem like a thing of the past. And the Falcons, another team that just can't get out of their own way. So I'm on the Chargers side of this one. How about you? Even though Falcons are coming off a bye, I still like the Chargers here.
I might be staying away from this. I don't love the optics of the Chargers. So you have a team that's playing on a short week, going East Coast, playing a team off a bye week that also plays better at home.
You're right.
So there's a lot of circumstances that definitely play into the Falcons' favor here, which is kind of why I'm somewhat concerned about the Chargers. Trying to think of if you try to bet this game now where you get the best. The Chargers-Ravens, I think it's going to probably go down to the wire. So I'm not sure that whatever happens in that game, aside from a quarterback injury, is going to really affect these lines. If anything, the Chargers, I think, are going to probably play well offensively. So maybe you see more money come in on the Chargers. So I think this is a wait and see. I think I still like the Falcons with the points at home.
Next up, a team that I have a hard time gauging at this point too, the Houston Texans. They fell to 7-5. They got handed an L at home. Tennessee Titans. Jacksonville, though, they're no good. So regardless, Houston is 6-point favorites on the road in Jacksonville. 43 is the number. Plus 210 on the Jacksonville side. It's kind of shocking that Doug Peterson still has a job here, but I kind of get it. I guess they're just riding out the season here and then just going to clean house in one fell swoop. Fine. We're late in the year. Doesn't matter. But it does beg the question here of is the Houston Texans organization going to figure this out? Because they have been inconsistent all year long. And, you lose games to the Jets. It was a winnable game. You lose games to the Tennessee Titans, especially at home. Those are winnable games. I know the Titans play good defense, but I don't know, man. It just feels like all the good vibes from last year with the Texans, all of a sudden expectations have been a little weighty for them this year, and they have not answered the bell every time.
I think that the matchup here just is way different than the Titans matchup. The Titans can stop the run, right? That's one of their best attributes on defense. The Jaguars can't stop anything on defense. So I get that the Texans offense has struggled, but when they've been at their highest functioning, it's when they've been able to give the ball to Joe Mixon 20, 25 times a game. And it seems weird, but kind of keep CJ Stroud away from the ball. That's kind of when their offense has been better, just because, Stroud has definitely regressed since his rookie season. I can't give you an answer of exactly why that's happening. He's just not playing nearly as well. He's not seeing the field nearly as well. The offensive line has had some issues in pass protection. So maybe he's not trusting things as much up front. But yeah, for me, I'm still going to be here on the Texans. What has the Jaguars shown us at any point this year? Do we even know if Trevor Lawrence is playing? Apparently he's supposed to come back from the shoulder injury, but if this is Mac Jones, well, this line is going to move probably in favor of the Texans. So
where would it move to, in your opinion? Do you think it gets all the way up to 7?
7.5, probably.
Yeah, okay. All right, Indianapolis and New England. New England got trounced by the Miami Dolphins, but that's no surprise to Andrew or myself. They are 2.5-point underdogs at home against the Indianapolis Colts, coming off a loss of their own. 42.5 is the number for this one, the consensus BettingPros line, and then plus 120 for the New England Patriots. Well, the value here is just close your eyes and bet the Patriots at home as underdogs, but I don't feel comfortable with it. So this game is a hard stay away for me this week. I just don't have a feeling. If anything, I'm leaning towards the Colts right now. But Andrew, what do you make out of this one?
Yeah, this one's tough because I'm going to be going to this game. I'm going to be going to the Patriots-Colts game. So I'm going to have a wager on it, of course, to really take in the scenery of Gillette Stadium. So, but like you said, I'm kind of torn on where I want to approach this game.
Over Drake May rushing yards. That should be the thing.
I have to be placing some type of wager either on points overall. I can't be the one that when there are points. The one that's in the crowd, like not cheering because I bet the under on the game that I just decided to attend. That's a horrible way to enjoy a Sunday football game that you're attending. So maybe leaning towards the over. I know the Patriots games have been going over left and right because their defense is so bad. Gerard Mayo, right? Defensive guy, supposed to come in and fix the defense. I mean, if Drake May hadn't been playing well, at least before this past game, I mean, the let's fire Gerard Mayo already would be even louder. Like it's been
Look,
really
the
up
defense,
and down with them.
that's been the one thing you hang your hat on for years of the Patriots, even the bad years. Well, at least the defense is good, right? That's not the case right now.
No,
and I don't know if Gerard Mayo is going to be a one and done coach. I don't know if Robert Kraft is that kind of owner, but all I can say is, Mike Vrabel's still a free agent. And, that is a tough sell there. I don't think it would be fair for Gerard Mayo to get one and done. But the defense has played very poorly this year. And again, that's what you're supposed to be good at and doing and motivating and scheming. And when that doesn't work out, it's definitely tough. It's definitely a tough look there. Arizona, Minnesota. Minnesota comes away with an overtime victory. They are at home, 4-point favorites over the Arizona Cardinals. I can't believe how miserable that game was for scoring between the Cardinals and the Seahawks. Appalled. 13-6 in the fourth quarter, and I'm looking around going, you gotta be kidding. This better explode like the Cowboys Washington Commanders game did, because that was fun. That was entertaining. And I went out for a walk and I came back and I saw the last 10 minutes of that game and it was fantastic. Arizona disappointing off the bye. And you know what? Yeah, Minnesota 4. Yeah, I mean, I've had it with the Cardinals here. 46.5. I knew they were paper tigers. I knew it, Erickson. I knew it. Plus 170. I know those in-division games. Teams are built to play in their division. We've been having this conversation lately, but I'm going straight Vikings here. Let's go. -4. Okay. I think Minnesota handles their business here. What do you think?
I'm going to go back to the Birds. I was on them last week and it was super painful, but I'm not going to let my emotions get in the way because I still think that
my emotions are in the way.
No, I'm not.
I watched Kyler Murray make more bad decisions in that game than it was like Tommy DeVito playing quarterback at times. I'm watching him float balls over, trying to float balls with guys more than once. And they're getting picked. They're getting knocked out. I'm like, what are you doing? Throw the ball away. Take a sack. What's happening here? Oh, just misery. Just made the Seattle Seahawks look like the 85 Bears for a couple moments there. Ugh.
I mean, that's just what Kyler Murray does. He gives and takes away your points and your spreads and your picks because this is how he plays. I mean, sometimes he's super inconsistent. And now that we're going to get probably an overreaction because now the Cardinals are trash team, kind of like what you're saying right now, paper tiger. They can't do anything, can't get out of their own way. Well, playing the Minnesota Vikings, who have basically gone down to the wire in the last 3 games they have played. Again, 3 straight road games.
But the Minnesota defense is good. And if the Seahawks defense is giving you problems, then the Minnesota Vikings defense in that building is going to give you problems.
I just think that we always have to take divisional games and what happens in them and not overreact to what happens in them because divisional games are crazy.
You're usually right. I will give you that.
They're crazy games. Just like, again, the Commanders and Cowboys, how that game played out.
How about Thursday night?
Right?
How about the Cleveland Browns and the Steelers?
So I mean, I still like the Cardinals a lot. Heading into the season, they were in first place in the NFC West. Obviously not the case anymore, but they still have a chance at the division. It's not over yet for them. They still get to play the Seahawks, I believe, another time this season. So it's not over for them. I think they'll get right the ship here. Give me the Cardinals. What is it? 3.5 plus 3.5? Is it moved?
4.
Yep, see, it's moved.
Maybe it's moved now.
Because people
they
hate
heard
Kyler
me
Murray
screaming about it.
Yeah,
that's why they started to look up this morning and go, what are we thinking? Did you see how bad he played? Now he's getting Minnesota defense and he's going on the road. I mean, does anybody want to win the NFC West? Anybody? Bueller?
49ers?
Oh, God. And then with the misery of that, as you're watching that 49er game, there were moments where you're like, they're driving the ball down the field, and then the fumbles or the tipped pass, and you're just like, everything could go wrong.
I immediately knew it was over when they panned to Brandon Allen in his hand. He has a friggin' splint on it, which nobody knew about. He's not on the injury report whatsoever. He's playing with a thumb, he's playing with a broken thumb, and nobody told us anything about this. Kyle Shanahan continues to look at the injury report as a legitimate joke. And the 49ers are probably going to miss the playoffs.
You're a joke, Shanahan. I am salty this morning. I am salty. Tennessee is salty too. They're coming off a big win there. They're feeling it, but they're still 5.5-point underdogs against the Washington Commanders, who, look, the Commanders have been found out a little bit recently. 43.5, they've become a little predictable, and teams are picking up on what they want to do. So Washington's going to have to make some adjustments here if they want to stay in the playoff hunt. Plus 225 on the Tennessee Titans. I'll tell you right now, the value's on the Titans on the money line. That's where the value is in this game. Because it's not out of the realm of possibility that they can hold the Washington Commanders within a few points here. And if they just get a ball to bounce their way, they come out with yet another win.
Yeah, this one is tough. We are the kids are calling it the cliff, basically. With, in the
I
second
like
half.
that. It's the Cliff of Kingsbury. That's what it is.
Yes, the Commanders have hit
Or
the
Kingsbury
cliff.
Cliff, however you want to call it.
The Kingsbury Cliff.
I like that one. Let's call it the Kingsbury Cliff. I like that one.
Yeah. So it's becoming real right now because the Commanders have struggled over the last couple of weeks. You can tie it to the rib injury that Jaden Daniels had, but they just have not been the same offense. And even though they had that last minute play against the Dallas Cowboys and then they missed the extra point, I mean, they should have lost that game anyway, right? Even if they make that extra point, like they shouldn't have been toying around with the Dallas Cowboys, the worst run defense in the NFL that couldn't run the ball effectively. Brian Robinson dealing with another injury. Austin Eckler banged up. Could they be down to Jerry McNichols? And now you're facing the Tennessee Titans, who we just talked about, one of the best run defenses in the NFL. That's how you neutralize the Commanders' offense, is you stop the run. And everyone knows exactly where Terry McLaurin's running all his routes. He doesn't leave with the left side of the field because of Cliff Kingsbury. So they're really easy to game plan for. So, I mean, I don't think there's going to be a lot of points in this game per se. Maybe it's just turnovers, but yeah, I mean, I don't want to back the Commanders. They need to get to their bye week to try to fix something because right now they are a reeling team that's definitely going in the wrong direction.
Speaking of reeling teams going in the wrong direction, I give you the Jets at home, 3-8, 1.5 point underdogs, 42.5 is the number, plus 105 for the Jets on the money line against the Seattle Seahawks, looking to make it 3 straight. Let's go. Look, Seattle, this is your moment here. Okay, this is your spot. You go out there, you handle your business against the Jets, you take all this momentum you've gained, you're the road warriors, you went out there and you beat San Francisco, then you beat Arizona, you've handled your division. Don't drop this out of conference game. Don't do it. And by the way, for Geno Smith to just put the dagger in the heart of the Jets season, I don't know if there's anything better. Like this would make me want to watch a full Jets game. It really, I can say, and that is hard for me to say. But this actually makes me want to watch it. Give me the points with Seattle. I'll take that 1.5. Let's go.
They're getting the points? Or they
minus 1.5. No, I'm just saying minus 1.5.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just saying I want the minus 1.5 here. They win this game. I hope by a touchdown or more, because that's really what I'm looking for. But then again, there's also something really just painful about it getting ripped out too at the end on like a last second field goal too. I'll take any of those outcomes. Either way, I'm covering this 1.5 here.
No, I mean, I'm with you. Why would I bet on the Jets? I mean, I think the market has finally reached a point where like they've given up. Again, the Jets have been a very public team this year where the sports were like, hey, the Jets are favored. And then they just kept losing. And it's like, okay, we got to stop making the Jets favorites. So they finally fixed it, made Seattle road favorites, even by 1.5. I mean, when I did the projections for this, it was closer to Seattle -4, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think this is going to be a 1.5 point game. When it comes down to it, is Aaron Rodgers even the starting quarterback? Like, what's going on here? Is it going to be Tyrod Taylor? Like, we don't really know. There's so much. I mean, out of the bye week, I think there might be some optimism about the Jets. Maybe later in the week, and you see this line move into the favor of the Jets because the public just can't resist themselves. So bet it now, bet it later. Go Hawks, baby.
Yeah, minus 1.5 Seattle, easy. Let's go. You have tiers in professional wrestling. Like you have your champions, and then you have your intercontinental champions. I think we should say the same thing with MVP. I think it should be like a mid range MVP, because I think it's Baker Mayfield. I think Baker Mayfield's done a tremendous job of just holding this team together in Tampa. They're going to Carolina. Carolina's become a dangerous little team here in the last couple of weeks. They are 6-point favorites, though, on the road against the Panthers. 46.5 is the number, plus 220 for the Carolina Panthers money line. Look, they should defeat the Carolina Panthers in theory, but to your point, Andrew, these in-division games sometimes get wacky and weird and tight. So what do you see in this one that we should pay attention to in terms of any early value?
Under, I think 46 points for a road game for the Buccaneers against the Panthers. I don't like that. Again, going back to divisional matchups, they're much tighter than we always like to project. And I believe this game played out last year. I think it was week 18. There was barely any scoring. I think the final score was like 9-0. So I think that you're going to see the Panthers play a little bit tight. I mean, the Panthers they're feeling good right now. I mean, they almost just beat the Chiefs. They're a team that's playing with a lot more confidence. They're not the same doormat, basically, that people were just running over and truck sticking every single week. That's not the case here. So I think that they're playing some inspired football. Obviously, you talked about Baker Mayfield, another team that's feeling really good. Again, they broke the losing streak last week, but still on the road in a division game. I think it's a little bit tighter. So I like the under at 46 points.
Next one on the slate, the Rams coming off a short week, going to New Orleans, coming off of their bye. The New Orleans Saints are 2.5-point underdogs at home. 47 is the total, plus 115 for the Saints on the money line. Give me the Saints on the money line, Erickson. Let's go. I'm feeling the vibes. I think that's just where I'm at here with that. I keep all year just getting the Saints wrong. So I'm going to fight my instincts of saying, well, the better coach, the better quarterback, blah, 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 because that just doesn't seem to matter against this new New Orleans Saints. Your thoughts?
I think it matters when it comes to the Rams, though. I think that they have the advantages when it comes to the coach, when it comes to the quarterback.
Oh, they got smoked last.
Yeah, because they were projected to lose. They were the underdogs. They don't play well as underdogs, and they win as favorites. Just like they beat up on the Patriots, a bad team. Do you think the Saints are a good team? Yes or no?
I think they're a better team than the Patriots.
Okay, but answer the question: are they a bad team or a good team? Are they in the tier of bad teams or the good teams? Because we know where the line is. They're in the tier of bad teams. They have
an under 500 record, but they play much better defense than the Patriots do, and that matters at home.
I still don't love their defense. I'm taking.
I'm just watching what Saquon Barkley did, and Alvin Kamara is coming off a bye, and I could see Kamara having the same kind of game. I'm just saying.
Well, we'll see.
We'll see. We'll see. We'll see how that goes. So obviously you're on the Ram side of this game. Is that safe to say?
Yes.
All right. Here's the one that everybody wants to see. Sunday afternoon, 4:25 Eastern, Baltimore Ravens hosting the Philadelphia Eagles. There we go. The Ravens 3-point favorites at home. 50.5 is the total, plus 130 for the Eagles on the money line. So Saquon and the Eagles defense coming into Baltimore. Again, the value to me is just going straight for the upset of the Eagles. That's where I want to go. Where do you want to go?
I think that makes sense because I think that when you're looking at who is the more complete team, it's the Eagles, right? They have a good defense and a good offense. The Ravens have a good offense and they don't have a good defense. And you can make the argument, they have a good run defense, but I think that's more systematically where the teams don't try to run on the Ravens because they know they can just throw on the Ravens, right? So I think that, I agree with you. Again, you're getting the Ravens as favorites because they're playing at home, but we tend to find that home field advantage is a little bit overrated. If this is a neutral field, I'm pretty sure the Eagles would be favored. They have a better record. So I think that I would probably lean towards the Eagles here as well on the money line. As for the total, just take the under, man. Two teams that want to run the football. What does that mean? You're going to see more long drives. Again, obviously, it can break open if it's a Saquon Barkley explosion run, Derrick Henry explosion run, but that just happened with Barkley. He just did all those explosive things. And Derrick Henry, that's more of his thing that he does in the second half of the game. So I think I'd probably lean towards the under just because it's two teams that don't necessarily throw the ball a ton. They don't want to be pass first. They want to run the ball first. So I think that leans to more under. So I think the under at 50.5 is kind of a sharp play.
Sunday Night Football, good one. Buffalo 9-2 taking on the San Francisco 49ers, whatever's left of them. Buffalo 6.5-point favorites in this one. 46 is the total, plus 230 on the money line for the 49ers. Andrew, is this the beginning of the comeback for the 49ers, or is this the end of days for Kyle Shanahan and this group in 2024?
Look, it's been over since the start of the season. And I was first to bat to bury the 49ers, and I was too aggressive because I remember betting on the Jets in week 1. I was like, God, got to bury the 49ers right away. Well, if you
recall, and I was so, I was so anti-Jets in the beginning of week 1. How much did I pound the table? The 49ers are going to wipe the floor with them. It's not even close from a personnel standpoint. However, I really thought, had Purdy played, I saw a lot of vulnerabilities in that Green Bay Packers squad. And I think he was on full display at moments in that game too, where, but their season was on the line and they did not respond. I think this team has finally just had it and, and I was fading them too. So is this it? This is the death knell? This is it? It's over?
I think so. Look, we were fading the 49ers from the very beginning because of two things. Number one, they had just lost the Super Bowl. And it was just the Super Bowl hangover. This happens every single year. Just fade that team. And then the second thing that we pointed out really early on was they were the healthiest team last year. It's not a coincidence that they've been so injured the entire season. And now it's gone to the quarterback room. So these are the teams you need to remember and fade when we're talking about who was the healthiest team in 2024. Fade that team in 2025 because it's not going to be the same type of thing, same type of injury luck. So we don't know if Brock Purdy going to play. Based on these lines, I'm not so sure the books even really know whether he's playing, because if it's Brandon Allen, there's no way this is just Buffalo minus 6.5 at home. This has to be a bigger number. I mean, the Packers were favored by a touchdown, right? When Brandon Allen was the starter. So this is going to jump till 7.5, 8. I mean, I'm just going to take the Bills right now and just hope, hey, I get a better number if Brock Purdy doesn't play. I mean, that's kind of how I'm leaning. I mean, can we believe anything that Shanahan says about the injury report? Where, yeah, like, he'll be okay.
No. Well, clearly we've learned that. That's not something we can trust at all. All right, last one here. Monday Night Football. The Denver Broncos, 7-5, certainly a playoff team at this point. Take on the Cleveland Browns. This one's in Denver, though. Therefore, Cleveland is 5.5-point underdogs, as they should be. 41 is the number, plus 200 for Cleveland. This line feels pretty good to me. I don't see any early value, but do you?
What did you say it's at? Is that 4.5?
5.5 right now.
5.5 now? I would still take Denver. I would bet them up to Denver minus 6.5, Denver minus 7. Again,
okay.
It was a division game. Jamie, that was the Browns Super Bowl against the Steelers at home in the snow.
They won the Super Bowl.
And they won. They're going to get, it's not going to be good going on the Jameis Winston against the number 1 defense. Like, this is going to be a disaster. So, yeah, yes, Monday Night Football. Give me the Denver Broncos. Denver Broncos.
All right, there you have it, everybody. That's a quick look around the Week 13 slate. We'll be breaking down the Thanksgiving slate, and the Black Friday special are also coming at you this week, so make sure you stay tuned for all of that. Make sure you drop your comments below, ring the bell till it goes ding, and follow Betting Pros on all of our social media channels, and go get in that contest we talked about earlier in the show, because we want you to do that. Again, the place to win the Mike Evans helmet is right now on the Betting Pros contest, so you can go in there and check that out over at from pristineauction.com. You can go and sign up today, and possibly you might be the big winner. What a nice thing to win at this point here for you. Also, don't forget, download the Betting Pros app, sync your sportsbooks for free. Use the tools to help you get an advantage over the rest of the field. That'll do it for us, but the story of the game goes on. For Andrew Erickson, I'm Joey P. We'll see you next time, kids.